Thanks very much for staying with us. Time now for Eye on Africa with me, Georgia Calvin-Smith. Tonight, rioting in Lusaka has left at least 2 dead. The victims were reportedly set alight amidst xenophobic unrest caused by rumours of foreigners having carried out a spate of gruesome ritual killings. Also, Ethiopia is one of the continent's most populous countries, and getting access to cash can still be a struggle. Bosses behind a new mobile phone-based banking system's hoping to change that. And the thousands of elephants living in Tsavo National Park already face the threat of poaching, but progress is also adding to their problems. A new high-speed rail line cuts right through their home. Well, first, xenophobic violence in Zambia has taken a fatal turn, with 2 people having been burned to death this week. Dozens of Rwandan-owned shops have been targeted in rioting and looting. That was sparked by rumours of a spate of murders in which victims' bodies were mutilated, being carried out by a ritual killer of foreign nationality.
These Zambians are celebrating their loot. A fridge taken from a shop owned by a Rwandan-owned trader. On Wednesday, police announced 2 Zambians were burnt alive this week in Lusaka amid a wave of xenophobic violence. 62 shops were destroyed. The riots broke out after 7 bodies were found with several body parts missing, such as ears, hearts and penises. Some Zambians then targeted Rwandan shopkeepers. They accused them of a string of ritual killings. According to rumours, some body parts had been found in the house of a Rwandan citizen, but the police said this was baseless.
People were not understand. They were thinking that each and every foreigner is guilty. So I think that situation, it was bad.
Some of them, they sleep in shops. Yeah, they've got no houses. So when they destroyed their shop, they were stranded. They were nowhere to go, they had no money, they took everything.
Several thousand Rwandan refugees live in Zambia. They fled their country after the 1994 genocide. Many are now shopkeepers, who are often better off than Zambians.
Mali's President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta met with his French counterpart here in Paris on Wednesday to pay tribute to the 3 French soldiers killed in the north of his country earlier this month. The trio died after their armoured car ran over a landmine in the desert. They were part of Operation Barkhane, under which France has deployed around 3,500 soldiers across several countries in the Sahel. During a ceremony in their memory, French leader François Hollande bestowed the Legion of Honour on the victims and emphasised the importance of their peacekeeping efforts.
It is France that gives the main help to these friendly countries who are in need of security. But their security is also ours, because we have a common enemy. Do I need to remind you that we have all been attacked in these past few months, in France as in Africa, in Brussels and in African capitals? These actions against terrorism are bearing fruit. We have weakened terrorist groups, disrupted their networks, exhausted their logistical ability, and it is a goal we will continue to pursue with our African friends.
Frustrated township residents took to the streets of Johannesburg on Wednesday to protest against the lack of electricity, water and other public services. Many blame the ruling African National Congress for failure to keep promises to improve the lot of poor black communities. As patience runs out, so does goodwill. With local elections due in August, many predict that long-time ANC voters may abandon the party as faith fades in President Zuma's bloc.
And we're fighting for electricity. We don't have electricity, we don't have water, everything. We don't have sharks' houses. Then we need that. Because we went through the councillors, they stay home, they don't look after us.
We are very, very angry because we don't have electricity. We buy our food and our food is now rotting at the fridge because we don't have electricity. So we are trying to negotiate with Mr. Mayor to tell him about our crying things.
Electricity, even they still vote, they don't work for us. What we should vote? For 37 years we vote. What do they think they do for us? We don't get nothing. We don't get nothing.
A new e-payment system's launched in Ethiopia in a bid to bring swathes of the continent's second most populous nation into the banking system. Customers will be able to use their mobile phones to access their money, minimising the problems caused by the lack of cash machines and of bank branches.
It's one of Africa's fastest growing economies, and now Ethiopia is banking on mobile money to boost further financial growth. The electronic phone payment service MBIR is bidding to bring millions into the banking system, allowing transfers at the touch of a button.
This new technology is a huge time saver, and people no longer need to carry cash in their pockets. However, this requires a communication campaign and explanation of the system.
Ethiopia has experienced 10% growth annually for the past decade, but the banking system is hugely underdeveloped, with only 1 in 5 people holding a bank account, well short of the government target of 4 in 5 by 2020. Mobile money could make the difference, and it's already winning people over.
MBIR is perfect for our work. It makes life more simple and more safe. I prefer to use this service instead of making cash transactions, and it's more reliable.
The service cuts out the kind of bureaucracy that has seen customers waste time and money waiting for requests to be processed. A simple text message is enough to send money to a relative or pay a bill.
The service is easily accessible. You can find it anywhere at any time. This is much more convenient than banks, which are in specific locations and have specific opening hours. I'm really happy with this service.
Kenya's mobile money system already has 18 million users. MBIR has just 150,000. And the development of the Ethiopian banking sector still faces challenges in what is a tightly controlled economy. But change of the cashless kind is coming.
The thousands of elephants living in Tsavo National Park already face the threat of poaching. The progress is also adding to their troubles. A new high-speed railway is set to make human lives easier, but as it cuts through the animals' habitat, the impact the transport upgrade will have there may be far more damaging.
On a mission, not to kill, but to conserve. The high-powered rifle is loaded with tranquilizer darts. The aim, to fit 10 elephants with satellite tracking collars. Once the animal falls asleep, a ground crew rushes in, with just 20 minutes to fit the collar and carry out tests.
We take blood samples to monitor, for example, diseases. Also, we take tissue samples for genetics analysis. We measure the body parts to see the growth rate in elephants, and also to compare with other areas with a similar habitat.
The 12,000 elephants living in Kenya's Tsavo National Park have long been victims of poaching. But conservationists fear the new 300-mile high-speed railway linking Nairobi to Mombasa will also threaten their movement.
The main objective of this exercise is to try and quantify how development, and more so the standard gauge railway, is affecting elephant distribution.
The rail line cuts the national park in two, and the team from the Kenyan Wildlife Service and conservation group Save the Elephants will use the radio collars to monitor elephants' use of various crossing points along the track.
We've managed to get a few elephant crossings put in, so underpasses that elephants can use, which is great news. On its own, that could ensure the connectivity of this landscape. Unfortunately, the next phase of this infrastructure development is a 6-lane highway.
So understanding how the railway impacts the animals here is crucial. It's hoped that tracking the elephants could help ensure economic growth doesn't come with wildlife as its biggest cost.
Well, and finally, it's Uganda's ghetto kids again. Now, the group of young dancers have featured on Eye on Africa several times before because of their amazing choreography. The latest video of theirs to go viral is of their moves to Justin Bieber's Sorry. But the video has ignited some controversy because of the setting and the clothing the youngsters wear. Some fans are worried whether the aesthetic just perpetuates the narrative of poverty-stricken, underprivileged Africa. Even whilst considering the issue, the group's talent is undeniable. So we'll leave you with them and hopes that that is the takeaway.
Maybe a couple of 100 times. So let me redeem on myself tonight. 'Cause I just need